CBS, welcome home.
Here's what's making news tonight. A deadly crash near Stoughton tops a bad day on area roads. UW's MedFlight expands its service and changing times for the fading Beloit Mall.
You're watching WISC TV3, keeping you in touch with Wisconsin. This is News 3 at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. An elderly man was killed this afternoon and 2 other people hurt in a 2-car accident just outside of Stoughton. Police say a car failed to yield at the intersection of Halverson Road and Highway 51 and was broadsided by another car traveling northbound on 51. Paramedics with MedFlight responded to the accident. The 89-year-old victim died at the scene.
It appears preliminary that a vehicle failed to yield from the intersection and had pulled out into a northbound vehicle's path, the northbound vehicle on 51.
The 2 people injured were taken by ambulance to Stoughton Hospital. Deputies say despite the snow, weather was not a factor in the accident. The victim's name hasn't been released. Roads are still very slick tonight. There's been a little bit of everything outside today. Some rain, some sleet, and some snow. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jeff Smith in the weather office. Hi, Jeff. What can we expect tonight?
Well, Susan, excuse me, for the most part, just more snow, but it's been a very tricky forecast this afternoon as there's been just about everything coming down through the sky. We'll back up a few hours and show you the radar pictures from this morning. Basically just rained initially moving into southern Wisconsin, but temperatures have been cold enough from the northwest to the southeast where the rain has changed over to snow in most areas now. As a result, a snow advisory is in effect for the northwestern third of the viewing area for a total of 3 to 6 inches. Just talked to some of our weather spotters well northwest of Madison, and they're still only seeing less than an inch of total snow accumulation. So most areas should finish up with between 1 to 3 inches, as it is very wet and it is melting upon impact. But nonetheless, things will be slippery for another few hours, but calming down towards midnight.
All right, we'll take it easy if you're driving out there. We'll check in with you in a little while, Jeff.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. UW's MedFlight program is expanding to meet a growing need for air ambulance service in the area. The UW has added a second helicopter, and that second flight will be available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. UW Hospital now receives 4 times as many calls as it did when the service started.
I believe that increasing our availability will improve our ability to bring critical care to patients who need it at outlying hospitals and at scenes.
MedFlight covers an area within a 225-mile radius of Madison. It's the first hospital program in the state to use 2 helicopters. The JCPenney store at the Beloit Mall is closing in April, and the loss of another anchor store at that troubled shopping center has some smaller businesses worried about their survival. But the city says it has a plan for the mall. News 3's Nancy Johnson joins me now with more on that. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Susan. The city owns a share of the mall, and city officials say they will soon make public a new plan for the site. Business people still trying to make it at the mall say they need to know what those plans are, and soon.
Mild sauce, regular?
Yes, the mild sauce. The Grathwall family has been serving hot meals in the Beloit Mall for 16 years. Mr. G's is one of the few businesses left here.
Thank you very much.
I guess I live with the only opinion that I can live with. As long as people keep coming here to buy food, I'll be here.
But others are closing. Woolworths is gone. Kohl's is gone. Sears left. And in 2 months, JCPenney's will be gone.
And what happens when you lose these anchors is the smaller tenants that rely on traffic really have a tough time of it, and that's what we're seeing now.
Mr. G is worried, but he says he'll tough it out for a while.
As long as there's enough money to pay the rent, pay the salary, and buy the food, and leave a little left over for me to live on.
But city leaders and business owners agree that shopping patterns are changing. Many people are going to the discount stores and regional malls in Rockford and Janesville. One can only wonder how long the Beloit Mall can survive.
I don't think it means the death. I think it means the redefinition of the mall. You know, it seems sad that the Beloit Mall has taken this turn, but in reality it presents a great opportunity for the citizens and for the community of Beloit to use this prime location property for a better use.
City leaders say this space could be used for neighborhood shopping, housing, or light manufacturing.
Basically, I would just like them to let us know what they are going to do so that we can make some plans with the rest of our life.
The Beloit City Council will meet February 7th to come up with a redevelopment plan for the site. And city leaders say they will provide whatever money is necessary to help businesses relocate or have a profitable stay at the mall. In the meantime, what are some of the other small businesses doing? Well, some are deciding to move on. The Royal Travel Agency just moved out of the mall yesterday. They relocated a few blocks away. And the Midnight Sun gift shop is considering a move to downtown Beloit, but they have not made a final decision yet. We'll have to wait and hear what the city's plan is. Thanks, Nancy. Starting tomorrow, for the first time in state history, parents get public school choice. That's where students will be allowed to attend classes in districts outside the district in which they live. Official sign-up begins tomorrow and ends February 20th. Certain restrictions, though, do exist. There has to be room. The transfer cannot upset the racial balance. And parents have to pay for all of the transportation costs. The State Department of Public Instruction expects 8,000 students to apply for transfers. Also starting tomorrow, Wisconsin's new 8-year driver's licenses go into effect. Motorists who renew their licenses from now on won't have to do so again for another 8 years instead of 4 years. The new 8-year licenses will be phased in. Everyone in the state should be switched over by the year 2002. The company that's taken over control of a proposed mine near Crandon says it wants to develop a better working relationship with people living around the site. Rio Algam says it ended its relationship with Exxon partly because Exxon wasn't open enough with the community about the project. Rio Algam is promising to change that. The company says it will hold a series of community listening sessions about the proposed mine. A public meeting will be held later this month to discuss a proposal to lower the water levels on the Horicon Marsh. Department of Natural Resources officials say water levels on the Dodge County Marsh could be dropped as much as a foot this spring and summer to aid the growth of several native plants. The DNR also hopes reducing the water level will control the growth of nuisance plants, which have taken over much of the region. It is a winter wonderland outside tonight, but will it last? Meteorologist Jeff Smith is up next with the workweek forecast as we watch the snow fall from our tower cam.
Jeff Smith has the AMS seal of approval.
Well, certainly one of those weird weather days where some of our spotters at times have checked in with snow and others sleet and rain and just cloudy skies, but things are starting to become a little more uniform with snow across much of southern Wisconsin. A couple of hours ago, the flakes were huge. Boy, it looked like the end of the world was coming and that we were about to receive about a foot of snow, but well, temperatures have been around 32, 33, so despite the heavy snow, not a lot has really accumulated, and that's the case through much of southern Wisconsin and the Channel 3 viewing area, but temperatures will cool enough this evening that it will start to accumulate before it diminishes by later this evening towards midnight. This is what I showed at the top of the show, 3 to 6 inches total in the area from around Crawford County, northeast to just west of Green Bay. This is officially where the snow advisory is in effect. 6 inches probably pretty isolated, at least in the Channel 3 viewing area. I think most folks should finish out between 1 to 3 inches before the night is through. By early tomorrow morning, road conditions should begin to improve. So probably no school cancellations, I don't think, for Monday morning. In Madison today, our temperature is 38 and 32. That is actually the current reading. Out at the airport, still right at that freezing mark, so things are kind of melting as they come down. Right here at the Channel 3 studios, 33 with a south wind at 9. Our relative humidity is at 96%. Radar pictures from earlier today showing a swath of snow from western Wisconsin all the way down into eastern Nebraska. Initially, this all did start off in the form of rain, at least in most areas of southern Wisconsin, but now you can see the white shaded areas started to push a little more to the east. It's all in response to a low-pressure system that was down here earlier today and is now shifted into northwestern Illinois as we speak. Most of the snow on the north and west side of the center of the storm, but as it begins to pull more northeast, everybody should cool enough that snow will continue to come down through all of the area for the next few hours. Here it is. It's a little spin in the atmosphere that's been kind of rotating north and east. It is a fairly quick mover, and behind it's really no major weather system, so our weather looks pretty quiet on into Monday and Tuesday. Here's the forecast tonight. A snow advisory in effect for areas well north and northwest of Dane County. Total accumulations, well, there I've got 2 to 4 inches. 4 inches probably fairly local, especially, well, north of Dane County. Otherwise, 1 to 3 inches for the city as temperatures drop to 26 overnight. Flurries after midnight. Tomorrow we'll see a few flurries from time to time. Otherwise, just a cloudy day with high temperatures near 31. Tomorrow night, skies begin to clear with low temperatures down to 12. And, wow, what's that? Sun for Tuesday. High temperatures near 27. That may stick around into Wednesday and Thursday with temperatures up into the low to mid-30s, so weather looks pretty quiet through midweek, and then chances for snow showers and flurries by Friday and Saturday. So generally about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall this evening. It's going to be slick, but certainly nothing we Wisconsinites can't handle.
It sure was pretty to look at. Boy, the flakes were like the size of potato chips.
It did. They looked like
huge.
we're going to get a foot or something. Oh, my gosh. But no, a lot of it's melting, but it'll accumulate some.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Sure.
Coming up, our guest joins us to talk about ambitious plans to improve Madison's downtown. And after sports, the U.S. ski team departs for Nagano and an Olympic dream.
On the next news for this morning at 6:50, what do parents need to know about public school open enrollment? And at 7:40, non-traditional employment in our Off to Work segment.
As times change, so can the fortunes of downtown businesses. So a group of business leaders in Madison is trying to make sure that downtown Madison stays healthy and vibrant. And joining me tonight is Roberta Gassman. She's a member of the Downtown Partners Steering Committee. Very nice to see you again.
Good to be here, Susan.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Now, what exactly is Downtown Partners?
Well, Downtown Partners is an interim group of business people, residents, leaders from city government, the university, property owners, Downtown Madison, Inc., and the Greater State Street Business Association. From all these parts of the community, people came together last spring knowing that with Monona Terrace open, more tourists coming, the Cole Center, the university growing, we had to make sure that State Street and the downtown were as strong and as healthy and as vibrant as possible. So we're an interim group that's been working to promote a strong downtown. Home Savings, where I work, played a lead role in getting the group going. Downtown Madison, Inc. is now staffing Downtown Partners. The Concourse has been hosting these wonderful monthly meetings we have where over 60 people have been showing up. We've got 200 people on a mailing list. So we're a group on an ad hoc interim basis trying to strengthen the downtown, particularly State Street.
I was just going to say, I'm sure State Street is probably a focal point for you. What are some of the ideas for State Street specifically where you see improvements?
Yes. Well, you know, when we first started to meet, we quickly surveyed what was going on, what were some of the challenges, what were the issues. Chamberlain and Associates did a wonderful donated survey for us. From that, we found out that actually downtown Madison is very popular. It's very vibrant. It has a big draw, a big following. The research has shown of all Dane County residents, many of them come downtown. They come to shop, they come to eat, they come to attend performances. So it's a terrific, vibrant area. We just want to make sure it's as healthy as possible. We made some initial requests of the mayor, and she and the council were very responsive in ensuring that the way the city interfaced with State Street was as coordinated as possible. And we've got that now with Bob DeAngelo, the director of the Civic Center, overseeing State Street. We also wanted to make sure that we had enough money for maintenance. And the city, thanks to the help of the council and the mayor, have increased the maintenance budget. But there are still additional steps we have to take to make sure it's as safe, friendly, clean as possible.
Where does the money come for these things?
Well, our efforts so far have been supported by the goodwill of many businesses in the community. Again, the Concourse has been hosting these meetings. DMI, Downtown Madison, Inc., has providing support to do the mailings. Home Savings has also provided support. Many businesses in town have been, in an ad hoc way, giving money to help. Right now, the city, one of the things we asked for in terms of what we need a strategic plan for State Street. We need a market assessment. We need a plan to recruit new businesses. We need a long-range plan for physically what kinds of improvements should happen in State Street. The city did provide $25,000 in existing funds toward carrying out that kind of plan and providing some interim staff capacity, let's say, until we have a business improvement district in place. So the city has provided $25,000 to help us, and The private sector, headed up by our president at Home Savings, Jim Bradley, and Bob Schlick, the president of M&I, they've agreed to raise $25,000. Chancellor Ward and the university have just pledged $25,000. All of this together, we hope, will help us make improvements.
Well, as we go along, because I'm sure this is a work in progress, come back and let us know how we're doing, and we'll travel the road with you.
Absolutely. I'll be glad to come back.
Okay, Roberta, good to see you again. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming in tonight. Coming up next in sports, we'll hear from Dick Bennett on the latest loss by his basketball Badgers. And Badger Ball hosts Northwestern at the Kohl Center today. Highlights after the break.
Now, News 3 Sports with Eric Kronke.
Badger Ball used Northwestern a couple of weeks ago to get its first road win in the Big Ten. Today, Jane Albright-Dieterle's team was looking to use the Cats to get the conference record over the 500 mark. Coach A's team today playing in front of another record Big Ten crowd, 16,000 plus on hand, to see Megan Shawansky give Northwestern the early 22-20 lead. The Badgers take it back. Katie Voigt, the friendly roll off those stiff Kohl Center rims. Cats up 24-23, though, when Kelly Paulus drains the triple. It's 26-24, but the Cats continue to claw at the Badgers in the first. Christina Divac with a three ball. They get the lead back. Back and forth they go. And Klaprick with a friendly roll of her own to get the lead back. Still in the first. Katie Voigt on the drive. She's going to miss the bucket. Gets her own rebound, puts it back in. Badgers up 5. Second half, Badgers blow it open. Already up 17. Voigt with the triple. Then Kelly Paulus hitting the triple. All of a sudden, the lead is 23, and the Badgers go on to win this one. Final score 95-64. The women's Big Ten scoreboard: Illinois over Penn State. Indiana defeats Michigan. Minnesota falls at Ohio State. Iowa upset by Michigan State. In Conference USA action, it was Marquette's women beating Alabama Birmingham 69-60. As Badger Ball continues to rank in the top 25, the men's team continues to slide. They've now lost 4 games in a row for the first time ever in the Dick Bennett era. A trip to the NCAA tourney all but gone. The NIT even more unlikely. It's been a long week for Coach Dick Bennett.
If there was a song we could invent, maybe there is one. The days are long and the nights are hard. But that's true. If you look at it in terms of 6 halves, 5 of them we were competitive. And the second half against Purdue was not a competitive half. And that it's a tough way to go, especially when you've lost all 3. So we had a very difficult week, to put it mildly.
I should correct myself. Still an outside chance at the NIT. That's from the Dick Bennett Show, which airs Sundays at 10:30 on WISC TV3. You can see it again tonight at 10 on TVW. One Big Ten game today saw Iowa host Michigan. Dr. Tom Davis looking on. First half, Ryan Luersman picks off the inbound pass and lays it in. Iowa up 7 early. Back come the Wolverines, beating the press. It's Lewis Bullock finding the big guy. Robert Tractor Trailer for the jam. Michigan led by 6 at the half, 38-32. In the second, Trailer goes to Maceo Baston here. The one-hand slam, and Michigan goes on to win by 14. In the top 25, Georgia Tech visiting the old Cameron Indoor Arena and #1 Duke. The Blue Devils running all over the Jackets today. Ricky Pierce beating freshman Chris Burgess, and he puts it down hard. Steve Wojciechowski will hit the 3 there, and as you saw, Duke pounds Georgia Tech 90-69. An amazing game between Cincinnati and South Carolina. End of the first half. Sean Mursilk, the 3-pointer at the buzzer, 47-30 Cincy, but the Gamecocks rally. This is going to be Antonio Grant after the circus play, hitting the 3 at the buzzer. That shot won it. 67-65 South Carolina. 2 other games of interest in the top 25. Rick Majerus' team Utah falls for the first time all season, 77-74 to New Mexico, and Florida upsets Kentucky. Well, the Bucks are back in action today, looking to extend a 4-game winning streak at the Target Center in Minneapolis against the T-Wolves. And early on, Stephon Marbury for the T-Wolves to Sam Mitchell, who cans the corner jumper. The T-Wolves led by 5 after 1. Milwaukee, Terrell Brandon, the great pass to Tyrone Hill, who lays it in. That combo continuing to click, then running. It's Brandon. Doesn't need any help this time. He'll go right by Marbury, and Mitchell gets the shot to fall. He had 22 points for the Bucks today. T-Wolves calling their $1 million man, Kevin Garnett, an all-star, twisting and turning through Urban Johnson and Hill. He scores. He finished with 26. Ricky Pierce also getting in the act for the Bucks. He'll hit this jumper from outside. That ties it. Big dog Glenn Robinson led the way with 29, 118, 110. Milwaukee, a winner. The Lakers hosting the Bulls. Who wants Jack Nicholson's autograph when you get Dennis Rodman's? Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan, and he can fly, throwing it down over Rick Fox, MJ with 31. This one, all Lakers at the Forum. Eddie Jones faking out his airness, taking the pretty pass for the reverse. 112-87, Lakers win. Well, the Pro Bowl is underway in Hawaii. Herman Moore scored the first points for the NFC. Then former Packer Andre Rison tied it up for the AFC. And just moments ago, a touchdown by Rob Moore has put the NFC up 14-7. They are in the second quarter. The UW tennis team in action today at the Nielsen Center, falling to Duke 8-1. The lone win belonging to Barbara Urbanska and Marjan Kopier in doubles very early in the morning today. The year's first tennis Grand Slams come to a close. The men's championship, the Australian Open, Peter Korda beats Marcelo Rio 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, his first career Grand Slam.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. We'll be right back. Every time I look outside, something different is falling out of the sky.
It's tough to keep up with. 1 to 3 inches, though, of snow expected tonight through most areas. Doppler radar pictures out of La Crosse showing the heaviest snow well north and west of Dane County. A little slick, but it should clear up by midnight.
All right, stay tuned for 60 Minutes coming up next, everyone. We'll see you tonight at 10. Until then, good evening.